Don't look at the market. Watch NFT live. Good morning, good evening, good night. I'm sitting here with Gifted and Biggie Poppins. We're going to take you around the NFT space as best we can without falling on a landmine, tripping any old wires. All right, guys, we're getting started here. What's happening? What it do? Say what was awesome. GM Web3 talking. What artist did you have on today?
How
was that?
That's good. Yeah, Pixlet is a builder, friend of Biggie Poppins, came through, talked about what they're doing with Bitwinks. And yeah, it's cool, man. Just learning more, about people experimenting and innovating on the Bitcoin ecosystem, and had some interesting takes on ordinals and runes. And it's a cool project that is pretty low entry cost. It's still minting. So if y'all are interested and you haven't really dabbled with ordinals, that's it's not a hyped pump and dump project. It's just a creator trying to create cool experiences and cool things. So yeah, check out Bitwinks if you want, still minting, and we're going to give one away. So we're going to give away an Ordinals on X later today. So shout out to them, Pixlet artists, for coming through, hanging out with us on GM Web3, and for giving away an Ordinals to the community. It's pretty dope.
Biggie Poppins, thanks for setting that up. Also, we had a pretty good episode yesterday with the Artist Spotlight. So we're on consecutive days here, featuring some artists on the network. That was a good episode. Hopefully we can follow it up with a good one here. I'm seeing some OVOTs pop in here. We're going to go about 45 minutes. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Biggie Poppins, GM to you. What is going on as we approach almost noon your time? What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Dude, it's Wednesday, so it's date day with the lady. I'm looking forward to it.
30 minutes.
Yeah. And then although we're gonna spend some of that time packing, we're gonna be traveling this weekend, which I'm also looking forward to. But yeah, man, like other than that, dude, just right now the biggest stress or pressure is what we're talking about with GIF on Web3 is trying to decide how to deploy whatever capital I've been holding on to. Like, this is, I think, that moment. So it's like, you try to do your little wish list and all this other stuff, but when the market's going to shit, you really need to hone in on those that you think are going to outperform and how you want to, I don't know what kind of risk reward you're looking for. The tough questions, right? Like, they're very fun to have conversations about and think about and look at the charts and postulate. But when it comes time to pulling the trigger, that's where you really be like, okay, I got to kill my babies, right? Like, you have a list of 10, pick 3. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm interested in both your take, Gifted take, and also the community. If you want to drop it in the comments as we go along, we definitely are in that moment, right? We're sitting, 30, 40% back here on a lot of tokens over the past week. We could pull up the handy dandy crypto bubbles chart for the day. We can see again, there's a mix actually. Like, if you look, that's actually some kind of mixture, 50-50 almost, maybe 30-60 green here. On the week though, shield your eyes, a ton of red outside of helium. Wormhole is a outperformer, it looks like, too, and Tron, my goodness. But yes, on the daily, we are still seeing a pretty large pullback on a lot of these tokens. The ones that are actually not performing too bad are probably doing so because they're already hit, right? Like, that's kind of where we're at in the cycle. So Biggie's been asking for some red. We are getting that, and we're gonna go forward. We'll see what happens. Gifted, I already mentioned you had an artist on GM Web3. What's going on?
Yeah, man. I mean, I wish I had more liquidity to be buying things up right now, because this is probably the last big dip. I mean, could still go on for another week or two, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, but this kind of feels like the last real dip before the quote unquote banana zone, before things get really crazy. I was expecting that it might, Bitcoin might pull back to 55K. I don't know if it gets lower, if it goes to 50K. We'll see. Could. But yeah, this is the time I think really to be averaging in on any of those high conviction plays. And yeah, man, wish I had more liquidity. That's it. That's
You know
it,
what?
really.
You know which one hurts me the most out of all those possibilities is Say. You know, I think like it was definitely one of those candidates where like, oh man, I'd like to add more to my bags. And just this week, it's been telling me the opposite. So it's a little bit of a bummer there, where it's like, okay, fine. It could, and I get it. Like
Yeah.
risk reward wise, you'll get a multiplier. Like I don't think you'll lose out, but it was more about, for me there was like, hey, I'd like to have some more ammo to, buy into some of the projects that I like. And
Are you talking about inside of Say?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. I thought you were talking about the Say token. Okay.
Well, no, I mean the Say token. I when it comes to deploying some extra capital, right? Like some of it is just spot hold, and hopefully, maybe like flip out of it at some point, take profits, what have you. Like most of it is that's the way I'm thinking about it. But a good chunk of it, I had thought, hey man, I want to have some extra play money in one of my favorite ecosystems this cycle, right? And it's really, I'm having a hard time justifying it at the moment. Given all the shenanigans going on in that eco. So yeah, rethinking that.
Yeah, it's been tough to host some of those shows, man. I think we've done our best here over the last couple of days of trying to transition through topics and not point out the elephant in the room that's taking up half the surface area. But we'll continue to see. I still think Say token does extremely well in this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the negative downside to that, and again, we have been tracking that ecosystem and token very closely, so I feel like we have some say on it. But if V2 completely falls flat on the DeFi front, like the NFT front is going to NFT. That's it. That's how I feel up to this moment. We're gonna figure it out. It seems like there's a little bit of an ecosystem there, and people are building and doing some really cool shit. If we don't see this influx of liquidity that is necessary for things to kind of sustain themselves through whatever means. I don't know what means got us there the first time. I know the NFT side was really what drew a lot of people there. But for Say V2, if there's not a lot of DeFi activity, if they don't incentivize these developers to do that, then it's going to have a tough time.
Mm-hmm. And I think they definitely have some really strong contenders there, right? Like if you're thinking you're going to speculate on, say, some DeFi, right? Or on the token itself, like, I don't know, Aerodome is looking very fucking juicy at the moment, right? On base. And then there's always Blast that you can go and play along with which I still think is going to perform really well. And there's a lot of opportunity to farm and do stuff there. So yeah, it's like, I'll come to terms with it later today. But anyways, just
yes,
a little bit of insight into where my mind is right now. Maybe day will sway me in a different direction.
All right. Flame is saying Say definitely feels a lot like Sol 2021.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that it does have this already established community into this Say V2 narrative. So it's still fertile ground. I get that we're having issues, but it's still a lot more fertile than an ecosystem that doesn't have that, that's trying to attract people there. So there's already some semblance of something to work off of. So I'm not going to try to mid-curve Say this cycle. I think it's just going to be a top performer. Like it is what it is. The parallelization is a great narrative. You could get lost up into all these things, but I don't think the broader market, frankly, cares as long as there's some DeFi liquidity and action on the chain. So now if I put my community member hat on, I have a whole nother take, but I'm just looking at that Say token and how it's going to perform. All right, we jumped into the thick of it here early in the show. Friendtech is having itself a nice little week. They are just poking fun at this what I'm about to show you is just the timeline of Friendtech and how much fun they're having right now while everybody's crying. We can delay this launch longer than you can survive. We might need another day to implement some tokenomics suggestions from EigenLayer. Just for that reply work, geo-blocking the entire country of India. They are having a fun time here. Whatever intern there is, although they said the intern then, I believe, got assassinated. Let's see. One more. We regret to inform you that the Frentech intern has been assassinated, cause of death, samosa thrown like a ninja star, and lodged into the jet. Like, this is wild. Whatever Frentech is doing right now is funny as fuck.
They're
I'll give them
leaning
that.
into
Yes.
the mire, the muck, the shit posting, trolling, like.
Yeah, they're not putting out fires. They're more like flaming them, right? Fanning the flame.
Yeah, adding gas
It's parody.
to the fire.
It's parody. Like they're like crypto in general. I mean, is a parody in and of itself. They're just leaning into that.
Yeah, let's just see if we all laugh. What kind of laughter it ends with, right?
I appreciate them, going about it with a sense of humor. It's not easy to keep a sense of humor some days, some months. So, I got to give them some credit where it's due to at least, have some creativity and some humor about it. Again, for somebody like yourself, Q, who's invested a lot more into this supposed airdrop and has been strung along now for quite some time, I don't know how good it feels.
It feels better than radio silence. I like this post better than nothing. Like, I actually appreciate it.
It's better than other chains that are keeping radio silence and not saying shit.
Biggie is just, dude. Biggie
I'm not stopping, man. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep, like, if they think that we're gonna go away and that we're just gonna stop talking about it, they are wrong. Okay,
so
I'm not gonna sully the vibes of our shows continuously, but every now and then I'll give you a little trip up, kick in the ass, what have you.
Say it. Shoulder check.
Yeah, a little
shoulder check. So, I mean, there's very different approaches here that we're talking about, right? So what are we saying? We're drawing a juxtaposition and a comparison between Frentech, sort of like not shying away from the difficult, obvious conversations, the problems that are going on, but really sort of like leaning in and trying to have fun and poke fun at themselves with it, and addressing it, whether or not they're addressing it in a way that you appreciate. They're not ignoring that there's problems and issues happening, versus say where you could argue they have very much stuck their head in the sand, and all I see from that team, the majority of it is all they're doing is bull posting V2's coming soon, and it's like everything else is like on fire. It's just like, let's just not look over there. This is fine. Just keep focused on say V2's coming soon, fam. That's the narrative.
We'll continue to be following Say. Again, we host an entire show on the topic. If you want to dive into that, there's actually some really cool shit happening. Captain Kong is saying say less. Rocket, is that a CyberKongs? I can't tell. We got smaller profile images from where we're sitting. All right, guys. Again, we're hopping into kind of the macro side. Say being one of the, I guess, if you want to call them that, a loser here over the last 24 hours. They definitely are, falling from that 60-cent range. 58 was that support level that we wanted to hold. I think we're sitting at like 52 cents right now. So, yeah. Definitely shaky times. There's no way to get around it on the crypto side of things. I mean, the token side of things here. If you zoom out, a lot of things down. But this is what you guys signed up for, man. It's not easy. It's not easy out here in these streets. You thought it would be easy. It's not. This is where you can't get shaken out. And hopefully, you guys have now taken. I guess you didn't coin it, but now we're taking it on ourselves. What are we calling it? The banana
zone. Well, this is Raul Pal is the one that I think coined this, right? It's part of his bigger thesis around how this is working with crypto. But and you can
inspiration from the banana hammock
of course. Well, banana hammocks have pretty much informed everything that this network represents. And everything that Raul Pal's ever done in economics or investing is ultimately can be distilled and reduced down to a banana hammock. But no, if you compare what's happened across 4 cycles now, it all looks very similar. Is that you get this sort of initial run up, the beginning of the bull, you get this weird sideways / downward tracking after around the halving and after it for a little bit, and then eventually, you get that sort of final dip, and then shit goes parabolic, and that's the banana zone, the banana hammock effect, whatever you want to call it.
All right, Captain Kong said yes. I'm rocking a Kong. My goddamn name's Captain Kong.
Drop those bananas, fam. We know the Kongs love bananas.
All right, like I said, we're gonna run a little bit of a shorter episode here today, but there's a lot to pack into that. The biggest story of the day, if you go on over to Blur, you can see that it is now
It's a lot of points.
integrated into the Blast protocol. So this is Ethereum. We're seeing some action over here, but you do one little simple click and you are on over to Blast, to the casino, the shiny new thing. You see Blastopians popping off. You see a couple of these others that are popping off. Let's go by 7-day volume here. So Pack Rect is going to be taking the majority of volume here by almost 4x, almost 3x here. Pluto Cats, Gold Pool, and Blastopians definitely seeing a lot of action as we just saw Blur go live not 24 hours ago.
Yeah, this is very degen high risk here, like everything that we talk about, basically. Because there's clearly incentives to farm. This is what Blur and Pac-Man and Blast have done the best, is they create legitimate incentives. But we've seen on Blur with their farming in the past that the majority of people get wrecked. So while to me it's like, it seems like the obvious play would be to buy the 2 or 3 top collections right now, because there's going to be a lot of liquidity and interest over the next month or two. I'm also just so fucking wary about putting any liquidity into this right now. Especially like 24 hours after it's just announced and you get that initial pump. It's just like,
so are we triple dipping here on Blur and Blast? Are you earning Blur points and Blast gold and the native yields?
you should be. I mean, again, that's kind of the whole idea of this, is that he's really supercharging these incentive and rewards systems, right? And that's what native yield's all about. It opens up more opportunities. But we knew that Blur and Blast were going to have more shared cross promotion integration, shared incentives. I don't actually know. I don't know if anybody other than him, Pac-Man and the team, knows exactly how this is going to play out. But the other thing that we really haven't focused on at all lately is that Blur Season 3 is still like staked. And I think that a lot of that, that is somehow going to factor in to the launch of Redacted. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we don't know. This is very much speculation, of course. Again, that's what we welcome to the show. But like, what makes sense to me is that, he's incentivizing people to stake their Blur, to during this time, and then whenever Redacted launches, that those people that have staked are also getting rewarded from some additional multiple. So it's like he's playing with all these different mechanics now that he has, that again, all of them he can kind of integrate into a larger moment. I don't know. But again, the problem with this, because there's not a lot of transparency around it, and a lot of it's just trying to get people to start pulling levers and get excited and see fucking gold bars in their eyes, is that people get wrecked really easily. Like, they think that they're doing things that are going to help them, and all they're doing is losing their magic internet money playing these dumb games. So just be fucking careful, man. Like, I'm over there farming, but like with this specifically, especially because we saw what happened with Blur. Like, yes, there's going to be some opportunities, but majority of people are going to get fucking wrecked.
All right, stats here weighing in on the conversation. Blur launches on Blast. Blast grants Blur 2 million here in gold, more than any other platform has received, and Blast requires users to use the NFT 5 platform, of which Blur is one, to keep up with the points. It helps to be the king of the platform. So again, the ability to allocate the gold that they actually distribute to their own platform helps. I mean, that's going to make it I don't think there's an actual competitor. Like on Say right now, you're looking at it saying, well, Pal can come in, Well, I mean, with this incentive where you're able to earn Blast Gold at this rate, I don't even think there's a conversation to be had. Like Blur is going to be the NFT marketplace for Blast.
It'll be the dominant one, probably, because nobody else is gonna get the same incentive structure.
So Win Market, Element Market, so all of these other native marketplaces, I just don't know the future. I mean, maybe they'll offer different incentives, but why would you use anything else?
Yeah, they're going to get incentivized because he wants builders to be there. It's just not at the same level. And so to your point, what usually happens is one marketplace gets 80% of the volume and then the others get a small amount. And that's a tough spot to be those marketplaces for sure. It's kind of like if the Say network decided like, hey, we're going to launch our own marketplace that gets all the fucking hookups and incentives. It's like, what does that do to all the native builders that were building marketplaces? Well, it kind of fucks you.
That also kind of like limits them, right? Too, because Blur is solely focused on Blast NFTs. Well, and ETH NFTs, right? Whereas something like Magic Eden is spreading its tentacles everywhere.
Yeah, Magic Eden definitely is moving at a very rapid pace. I have no idea what Machi's talking about here.
It looks like he's gonna have to go launch another fucking shit coin and rug everybody so that he can, I don't know, be happy.
Last layer 2 addresses for BAYC. I mean,
dude, I don't give a shit what this guy's doing. I want no part in anything that he's doing.
Team is currently working.
Seriously,
seriously, like I'm tired of
your shit.
Yeah, I'm tired of
on there.
No, like I'm tired of platforming him because I don't think that anything that he's doing is helping the community. It's just lining his own pockets and extracting from the fucking community.
I mean, we need to talk about him sometimes because he's such a big figure, but like no need to fucking like walk around eggshells. I mean, I think now you can finally now say, yeah, he's a serial rugger, right? Non-performer.
Dude, he's an extractor.
I've been waiting for his dating app forever.
Even though he just pulled like $40 million out of the market into his own wallet.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Him and Beanie, they should go to Web3 jail or something. I don't know. Is there such a thing? Like their wallets?
I don't. Yeah, if there's a free claim involved in this at all, that's the only reason that I would be interested in this. I have no idea what the 8fi team even is. Like 8fi in and of itself, like that's the first time I'm hearing of it. But deployed Blast, anyways, we'll keep up with it. If there's anything related to these collections on Blast, I just wonder what he's doing with those. I mean, there's a reason why he's so talked about now, and a lot of that has to do with the amount of liquidity he's able to have around himself. So not many people win, a lot of people get wrecked, but that's kind of the situation that I'd be following if I was you guys.
Yeah, and Flame Vendetta saying all of them want to line their own pockets. No, and it's like, sure, and also understand that there are
Machi's just better at it.
Well, it's not just that. Like the difference between Machi and Beanie versus someone like a Pac-Man is that some people are creating legitimate products and business models that support the community. And again, like I have problems with the incentives on Blur, but like you can't say that Pac-Man isn't actually creating legitimate products and a legitimate business and trying to create rewards models and things like this. You like again, I've used Farouk as an example. I am not a fan of Farouk. But the guy's at least trying to create a real business model. You know what I mean? Like he's not just like, hey, here's a coin, send it to my wallet, and then $40 million disappears. There's a difference between these two things. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying there's real leaders and real builders in the space, and then there's people like Machi and Beanie that are these like pseudo fucking influencer builders that have never actually created a meaningful product that has stood the test of time. All their shit goes up in flames and it just ends up moving a bunch of money into their wallets. Like that's basically grifting, right? They're basically just grifters at the end of the day. They've got these massive platforms and followings and everybody treats them like gods because they've been around or they have a CryptoPunk or whatever the fuck reason it is. Like I get it. I understand their history, but like we keep platforming these people and they're just going to keep doing the same shit.
Yeah. There's an ability to profit off the rise of these folks, But
Well,
I
that's
think
what everybody
once-
thinks,
I
that
think
they're going to get rich. That's why
that is
people
what
keep
happens.
listening.
That is what happens on the rise. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like Machi's rise through Cream Finance and a couple of these others led to a lot of people getting very rich. But the problem is when he's already rich, it's like he got into friend tech late. Like he got into friend tech late, had one of the most hyped friend tech launches, and then the chances that you win in that scenario are very low. Like not many people won in that scenario because the key went up to like multiples of ETH. The highest ETH it ever ran to is Quick, and there's no opportunity to make money. But there's a reason these guys are popular is because they've made people money before. If it's always losses, they would never get as popular as they are now.
I understand the value in an attention economy. There is some value just in being able to aggregate attention. But when all of those models are ultimately just like grifts that are lining their own pockets, the majority of people are all getting wrecked. The community consistently is getting wrecked at this point. I would argue. So yes, I get it.
Right
there's
now,
been some
Machi-
people. There's been
yes.
some people that made money at some
not
point.
some, it's
and
a
that's
lot.
why-
It's a lot.
Well, and that's why people keep listening to them. I get
Exactly.
it. I do understand the history.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, right now, like I don't, unless you're really in his inner circle, I don't know how you're making money off of Machi there. I just don't. What's going on here, Biggie?
Our good friend Blocks just sent us this. I don't know if you saw the DM. Hopefully, we were able to bring on Aaron McDonald over here and talk about some really cool stuff going on. I mean, Fluff World, Futureverse, however you want to say it. Like these dudes have been building in the background. They don't get enough spotlight on them yet, but really, I mean, I'm full disclosure, Day One Mentor, super biased, of course, but yeah, like they're doing some really, really cool stuff, and especially here with the Ready Player series. Apparently, like Steven Spielberg is gonna direct the sequel, and I wouldn't be surprised if they find ways to integrate side quests and other Web3 integrations to this project. So it'd be cool to see if we can get a little bit of alpha or at least just talk about like really what it takes to build out a fully fleshed out metaverse. They're doing some really cool stuff. So yeah, thanks Blocks. Let's get him on, man. Would love to have him.
Would love to do that, man.
So they are like Steven Spielberg is working on a Ready Player One sequel. Is that the headline here?
Yes, and Ready
It's going to already be an integrated.
Basically, partnered with Ready Player, the franchise, and so they're helping them build out like their metaverse, presence there. There's a lot of stuff that I for the love of me, I don't understand how it's not caught on. I guess yes, there's some metaverse fatigue out there, right? At the moment, but.
I mean, that's really cool. Like, I don't know the time on this. It can take years to develop like a big film like this. But it's still cool and exciting. What's really interesting is, Ready Player One is based off of a famous book. So they're basically having to develop entirely new IP, new lore, new stories around this, very famous, beloved IP. So that's a big challenge in of itself.
Better than Spielberg, right? Like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is kind of slightly controversial for people that are, the purists or the book lovers. I think a lot of people will kind of just want to hate on the movie because they liked the book so much. I thought the movie was great. Like it's just one of these fun. It's just fun. You know what I mean? And like many Spielberg movies are, they're just, it's a great ride. And I've found myself revisiting that movie a couple of times, and so I understand it's like, oh, you can try and tear it apart and say that, the physics and the science and the lore isn't perfect and like whatever. But it was a fun fucking movie. I actually really liked it.
I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or just like the way that the movie was portrayed was basically like, it had a very Disney feel of like,
it wasn't gritty. It's family friendly.
Yeah.
It's family friendly.
And I got that with the latest Star Wars too, where it's like, oh, this movie sucks so bad because like there's no grittiness, there's no edge to it. But you know what? I went into Ready Player One, expecting that, and that's it's just a fun ride. It's a fun fucking movie and it's a fun ride. But
Yeah. Well, and so to me, it's a good point. To me, this one is on the side of like still being good and enjoyable because there's enough other fun, interesting Easter eggs and content and thought that went into the world, and like the execution of the quality of the production and everything is so fucking grand and again just fun that like sort of the blandness of it not having more edge doesn't bother me as much. Whereas I'm with you when awesome sci-fi fantasy adventure action when these things are basically PG-13 and made for the mass market and families, it's so fucking boring most of the time. Just unappealing.
Yeah, that's why Doom was so interesting, man, because they went like the full opposite route. Dream Jock, go ahead, Biggie.
I'm not just saying that the author of Ready Player One is going to be involved in keeping the, things in line with the book and the OG characters. So that's
Dune 2. Yeah, Dune 2 does do a pretty good job of balancing that, where it's like it's still pretty clearly like PG-13-ish, but they at least make it edgy. Yeah, it's very family friendly. Like, but
there's a lot of blood in that fucking movie, bro.
Well, he's slitting his assistant's throats as he walks out into duel two guys that are just drugged and about to die.
But they don't really show a lot of any of that. They don't like. I'm just saying they do a good job of like the innuendo of a lot of the violence and the sex stuff, so that they don't show a lot of it, but it's happening. So it's like you feel
it's not all quiet on the Western Front. You're not seeing it. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay, I got you. All right, folks, this is where we're sitting today. The reason that we're having these combos, it feels like, is because the broader market is really just like sit on your hands. I mean, another piece to this has been like, at least in the last maybe 3 or 4 days, maybe even the last week, what Biggie Poppins was talking about, where it is time to maybe, if you do have capital, starting to deploy it in different tokens and where you see fit. Again, NFA, DYOR, all of that stuff. So I think in the broader way I was trying to explain that, in the last month, it's been sitting on your hands. Now might be the time to potentially deploy this capital if you do have it. So
can I say one of the things that I like the least about the whole Blast thing is that they have a sort of paper hand bitch tax too. Oh. And so you cannot withdraw any funds without them basically revoking your ability to keep farming. So they basically say it's like, okay, yeah, you want to withdraw or move things or bridge off of Blast, like but just know you can't farm any more points. Like, you're done. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, so I don't like that. That's pretty fucked, man. Honestly, because it's like, now would be a great time for me to be reallocating a little bit. Like I got a couple of G's over here that I'd like to sprinkle onto some other things, but then I can't farm any more fucking points.
I think DeFi works a lot like that, though. Like in most of the DeFi protocols you're in, if you unstake, and sometimes the unstaking is like 24 hours, then you're not compounding whatever you were farming. Like, it's just like a window. But that does suck. Wrapping. I mean, we can move back into Blast a little bit if we want, but I'm trying to tie this Machi tweet to something, and I don't know if this is it. Like, Blast Yacht Club is already launching here. I don't know if this has any relation. Yeah, I know.
Who buys these things?
Lame.
At this point.
Well, 130 ETH. In comparison, the 7-day volume, that would put it like in the 30s, maybe the top 25 on Ethereum.
This is the most boomer that I've felt ever. As much as like our convos that we've had recently, where we're like joking about being the boomers, but when I continue to see people like buying Bored Ape derivatives on a new chain, I'm just like, what the fuck are y'all kids doing this for? But then you realize it's like, no, dude, just this is how it still works. This is how people are still gonna fucking do it. There's always gonna be this fucking nonsense. Stop with your fucking mid-curve boomer shit. But man, like 130 ETH on that shit. God damn, bro. Come on.
All right, Dream Jock is saying, can you transfer partial to another wallet and bridge off from there?
Yeah. I mean,
You know what? Worth a shot. Worth a shot, bro. You know what? I appreciate that thought. I'm gonna look.
We just
Pac-Man's
brought
not
up,
watching. So.
We just brought up Friend Tech, and they have been a little bit coy on whether they are actually launching on Thursday. They said Thursday, and now they're saying, oh, maybe not. We'll see. The other airdrop. If you're watching and you're saying, we missed on Eigenlayer. What was the other airdrop? What was the other recent airdrop? It's beyond me right now.
Today we had Nim, and it seems to be a bit of a clusterfuck. Like
I was trying to line it up, but yes, Nim. If you were hoping Nim would save us, it's not. No. Nim is live. You can swap it on Dimension. It's at 17 cents. At this point, it's not even worth selling for the majority of folks.
No.
So that's where we stand.
Dude, Coolman is like 0, gone to 0 already. I got so fucked on that. Dude, fuck that team, man. Like seriously. The Coolman shit is so infuriating, bro.
I feel
you can't get caught up in a GIF. You can't get caught. There's people like that, man. Don't lose. I mean, it sucks, but it's crypto,
the
baby.
sooner you can stop looking back, the better.
Dude, scammers and grifters everywhere, man. You hope that artists like that have legit followings, aren't just gonna take the fucking cheap and easy way and rug their communities like that.
And it doesn't cost anything to just take the time if you really want to do it, right? Like it's very clear that this is like a bum rush for all the liquidity sloshing around in these like plays, right? And seeing I don't know, man. It's just I feel like it's not a good move, even if you remain in Web 2, like right, like it probably does tarnish your brand some, right? Like
absolutely. Dude, Coleman Coffee Dan, I thought was actually an interesting artist, and now I think he's just a fucking grifting piece of shit, bro. That's my experience, and I hate it's very rough to say that about. Again, like I try my best to support artist-driven projects, things that I think have cool IP, that have legit builders, people that have invested their time in creating characters and worlds. Like I am here for that shit, but that doesn't. Like it hurts me to say, but Coolman Coffee Dan and that whole team really fucked over the community, man. Like it's not good.
Yeah, let's watch the Ethereum price floors really quick. They're not really doing much. You can see Azuki actually had a bounce off that anime episode, so you can say that like at least initial product releases do lead to these floor price increases sometimes. Bored Apes felt like around 13 ETH. They kind of ranged on the week. Mutant Ape Yacht Club is staying still above 2.25. Sear is pointing out that the Yuga Labs wallet bought this. First of all, clean fucking ape. This is like I think this is a 4 trader. Background, glasses.
That is a cool ape.
Yeah, this is a really, really cool ape. They just bought it 2x floor. Wonder who it's for. So yeah, Sear's doing some sleuthing there on the Yuga Labs wallet. Not much else to report on the Ethereum side. I know we had the big Moonbirds thing happen. Moonbirds Universe was announced. We do have, I guess, the BAYC AMA.
The A16Z OP stack investment is interesting, worth mentioning probably. Obviously, it's not really NFT focused, but
this Moonbirds chart looks pretty good.
He's like,
okay.
yes.
I mean, well, yeah. Now
it's like, sure.
Yeah, I'm not zooming. Yeah, if you're in before, yeah, but right now,
sure.
over the last month, this doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, we had some cool announcements. I don't know if you guys checked it out, but yeah, Yuga is definitely trying to turn the ship around, and so, I want to see all these things out in the wild.
There was a point when this acquisition was first announced that Biggie Poppins was not as I feel like this was a positive move in the right direction here with the Yuga family, Biggie Poppins.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic at this point, right? Like it's just like been a long ride. I still very much love them, but I want to see action. We've gotten a ton of words, so now I want to see action, right? Like I'm very happy to. I miss rocking my Moonbird, to be honest. I just for the art, for the love of it, because it was always the first only NFT PFP that I ever rocked, and I'd be happy to, but not until I see some action, not until I see stuff out in the wild, and seeing what that's all about. Until then, I reserve my crazy optimism that I could potentially have.
All right, a flame is saying Moonbird is MAYC better at this point. That's one you're gonna have to kind of look at for yourself. I don't know. There's so many intangibles there. Moonbird's universe. It seems like they're going in the right direction with it. It's clearly less valuable on the floor price side. So
did you guys listen to or watch a breakdown or anything? I'm curious, like what resonated with you the most, what you liked the most about it. There were I don't know. There's three key things to me there. It's the CCO debacle, right, and like the new art direction, and then you have to me those other two are like great, but kind of things. I didn't get into Moonbirds for the IP, but it's this whole co-creation. New direction that the entertainment thing that they're going after, right, with Moonbirds, which team wise they're stacked, connection wise and fund wise they have them. I just want to see what they mean by that precisely, because there's been many, and I know you and I have covered a ton of them, GIF and Q here on our show, different approaches to this, right? Creating this great IP with awesome storytelling and inviting the community to engage and co-create, right? And I've forever been very bullish on that. I think whoever manages to approach this and crack that fucking code is gonna win big time. Who knows? It could be Futureverse with Ready Player One. It could be. There's a lot of people that are vying for that participatory engagement of a community. The problem is your attention's getting pulled in many different directions, and sometimes what they say is not exactly what they mean. So again, that's what makes me cautiously optimistic, right? It's like, I don't know. It's fine balance to strike.
Well, yeah, the things that stuck out to me are that the new art looks phenomenal. The move away from CC0, I think, is potentially a much bigger long-term value add for the community, because again, they're able to now start to implement economies of scale that nobody else can, because they have this bigger ecosystem and a lot of experience in other platforms that they've been proving out, like Made by Apes, around licensing, that they're now going to hopefully be able to sort of like share, piggyback off of, build out, and again, like provide, like you can create more value by aggregating a lot of these things together, and a lot of those learnings and resources, if you do it right. That's what I think they're probably leaning towards. And we all kind of know and understand now at this point that the like Legends of the Mara, Dookie Dash, but like Heavy Metal Forge, that those were sort of distractions from the main event, which is the club and the community, and like really focusing in on that. And I think that like Moonbirds at its core is also very similar. It comes out of that proof idea that it's going to be this awesome community, this club, and Moonbirds has a legit community. So I think if they're able to again sort of like focus in on how do we just make this a really amazing club, make it an amazing community, empower the community, create cool experiences, and get back to the basics on that of like rewarding the community members and making them feel seen, giving them opportunities and platforms. Like I'm very bullish on that. I don't think it happens quickly though. That's the challenge, is that, people that are, focused on money and floor prices, they lose interest so fast. But I think for the people that are like, I'm here, I want to be part of this thing, I want to participate, I see it as very, very bullish and like heading in a positive direction.
I'm interested in both of y'all's takes on this, because we are simultaneously seeing this in Bored Ape Yacht Club as well, right? You have almost the same thing kind of playing out. Like Proof had to deal with this with Kevin Rose in some instance. In some instance, Bored Ape Yacht Club went through this, where Gordon left and in enters Daniel Allegre. Like they lost their way. Like I'm interested in it's really hard for previous I want to say previous cycle blue chips, but they still are blue chips in my opinion this cycle. Who has done this the best? and don't say Pudgy Penguins. Like Pudgy Penguins had a whole new team come in and buy out the project. I'm interested in this situation where the team is still kind of there. They've made some internal stuff. It wasn't a full buyout. What project has migrated to the next cycle and still held relevance?
Oni's one of the better examples. Pudgy, Oni,
Cyberkongs.
Cyberkongs. There's not that many that are doing it well, but I think Moonbirds and Apes are part of that. They're still relevant. They're still doing things. Again, they're kind of working their way back from, the edge, but like, I don't know about, it kind of remains to be seen about Doodles, like where they net out, but they're still trying. I know they're still there. There's not that many, man. Like, Gutter Cats are trying, but like, honestly, what I see with them is just kind of reminds me of like Coolman, where it's like, I think they're just trying to get an extraction. It doesn't seem like they're building something that's meant to be long-term at this point. Like they're just trying to hype up a token.
Yep.
That'll probably get dumped on the fucking community.
So, all right, real quick, Biggie, I want your take on this. I do want to quickly point out, because we had a comment earlier. Flame was saying Sol is making a comeback. We're talking micro timeframes here, right? We're on the hourly here. So we did see this across the broader ecosystem. This little bounce, like maybe we finally can
dead cat bounce.
Yeah, maybe it's that
Bull
too.
trap.
I will say I'm gonna also share this. The Federal Reserve, I guess, pausing interest rate hikes remains. So maybe there's a tie-in here with the macro market and seeing at least some type of support, not only on Solana. I could try to bring up Bitcoin as well, but you can see the Solana chart doing a little bit of a bounce here. Who knows where it goes? But Biggie, sorry for derailing you. I just wanted to address that comment.
No, that's good, dude. I think, more like you said, there's not a lot of examples out there of people that have been able to, I don't know, man, like come back from stuff like this, right? Like, I think it's definitely possible. For one, though, the glaring thing when I at least look at Moonbirds right now is you need that leader. You need that champion. Let me rephrase that. It's not a leader. It's a champion.
It's Biggie Poppins. Hire this man.
I don't know, man. I'd love to think I'm jovial and charismatic and everything. I don't know if I've got the wherewithal to really rally like a multitude of people in that way. Plus,
Biggie will not suffer the fools. That's the thing.
Yeah, that too. I will not. I would rule with an iron fist.
Yes.
But I do think that it's very much needed, like desperately needed. And as much as, like you said, like I think the team is stacked. They're awesome, right? And then under the umbrella of Yuga, they've got the funding. They've got. I think the Yuga's done really well in like giving them a lot of rope to do stuff. Like that's the impression that I got. But we need that. You need that person that you rally around. Like I think they did great with like taking away that pigeonhole of like only an art collector's PFP. Separating that was very important. I agree. Somebody said it in the comments. Now I think the take, right, is like really great, because I think most people that came into Moonbirds after Proof weren't necessarily looking to be art collectors, right? Like they just like that intersection between art and tech, but they really came into that project. I think I would wager to say that at least more than 50% of the people that went in there, the thing that captured their attention, aside from Kevin Rose, was the high-rise idea. The idea that you were going to have this new platform where you could network and find like-minded individuals and build up something where you could find sustenance from, right? Like really plant your flag on Web3, looking for self-actualization in this new environment, right? And to me, like, that was kind of lost. We got pigeonholed into this like art collectors thing.
Lemon GF saying it the best. Biggie 5 days into being a community manager, floor it and get the fuck out.
Yeah,
I could totally see it. Maybe not 5 days. I'd give you a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. But at some point, Biggie Poppins will be in there.
I would be that guy. So not very PG. I don't know. Not very palatable for what they're trying to pull off. But man, again, just you need that. And in my opinion, it's a great transition, right? Because now I don't know if you heard it, like their whole thing is like fear is a shadow cast by your own hand. I think it's a great phrase. It really hits home with a lot of different people that are trying to, overcome their challenges, just be better, find some self-actualization. But now you need that person, that champion that people can rally behind, and you better fucking look for it. Because
wait, so is that's
getting, yeah, I mean, I think like getting people like myself and others of the OG to switch back to their Moonberg PFPs, while great, and like many of us do still hold a lot of love for the community, you need more. You need something that's really high impact. And I made that point long time ago. I stand by it, and until then I really don't see a way. I don't see
this right here is what I wanted to. So this is a new Doodles community manager. Is that what you're saying?
No, Nate Alex has been around for a long time.
He's dope.
Okay. Well, I thought you were saying he's like the new community manager or something of Doodles. Okay.
El Toro's asking, are you joining the other side town hall in the metaverse, Biggie? This is a big one. I mean, like heavy metals.
Yeah, man. Like it sounds. I mean,
let's go together, Biggie.
Let's do it, man.
When is it? When is it?
I'll hitch a ride on your,
I don't have a coda, but we can hitch a ride on something on my heavy metal.
Yeah, let's fucking do that, man. That'll be dope. I definitely, just for the experience and for checking it out, right? Like it's gotta.
All right, so I have to make a quick announcement. I'm gonna have to cancel my trip to the other side. I'm sorry, Biggie, for getting your hopes up. This is at 6 p.m. tomorrow. I'm actually seeing Mike Finch, who is coming back into town.
Oh, no.
Him and his wife are going to be here. Thursday night was the only night we could get together. So 6 p.m. Eastern. Cannot do. I'll sorry.
Take selfies and I'll send them to you. See how it went. I'm really eager to check it out. That's cool.
All right. I'll send you a photo of me and Mike sipping on some drinks. Maybe you'll get that. All right, we got to run out of here, folks. I do have to end the episode a little bit short today. There are some last updates. I do agree with Nate Alex, gift that was pointing out there, that Nate had this post at least. Here, 25% pullback, no conviction for these little bitches. Losers awaiting on someone to tell them what to do. My opinion is that they should sell and go back to that 9-to-5 grind. You don't deserve any fucking glory.
Yes, I stand behind people like that. Fuck yes. And this message needs to be spread far and wide to all these other ecosystems too, man. It's like
so the Merlin unlock was an interesting situation where there was going to be like a mass unlock of nodes that was happening. It looks like they already have seen more than 40% of the stakes nodes come off of Merlin, and the floor has not moved that much. I need to keep track because this was posted at 9 this morning. I don't know what node monkeys are sitting at now, but it looks like the node monkeys might make it out of that unlock unscathed. We talked about Fed interest rates being paused. Also, Tether reporting record-breaking profit of $4.5 billion. Jesus Christ, for Q1 2024. Good Lord. All right, so maybe we have some nice little tailwinds, guys, to end the show. We saw some bounces on some tokens. Maybe it's some tailwinds. Finally, it was a tough 48 hours for us. It really was.
Horrible.
Yeah, I still think we got more down from here, but
true. Don't say that out loud. No, that's fine.
I'm not buying now like we're so back.
This is the dog days, folks. If you don't survive this, you don't deserve the other side. If you can't have it at the worst,
you don't deserve crypto at its best, fam.
There you go. That's it. All right, we're
Lord,
up out of here.
Get the fuck out.
Let's go. Yeah. Biggie Poppins, future Moonbirds community manager, who will be coming to a Fudster near you. Biggie Poppins, send us out gifted as well. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
OVOT fam. But another day, another dollar, another crypto. I don't know. We'll be here tomorrow and the day after and the day after that, man. El Toro, Lemon, Nick, Choina, Knox, man. So many cool people that I love hanging with and seeing every day. What a pleasure, man. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate you.
Hell, look, for those of you who thought that I forgot about the bet with DP, I have acquired a jalapeno. I have a big jalapeno pepper sitting in my fridge. So I don't know if he's coming on tomorrow. I was gonna wait until he's on, but if he's coming on tomorrow, it's gonna be a painful episode for me. So come and enjoy, get some Schadenfreude or whatever weird things you get out of seeing me in pain, because I think that's gonna happen tomorrow. And yeah, looking forward to it. As if there needs to be more pain in this market right now.
Physical pain. I'm looking for literal pain in the mouth.
OVOT, fam.